To where your
Goddamn.
Groxies are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not there.
I figured they wouldn't be.
Load. Thank you. Oh god. Oh god. Why does it keep opening over Skype?
What are you doing?
Don't
Opening
do
up
it, Richard.
old write-ups so I can look at old characters and stuff.
Ah.
Sarah Lucilius.
Yeah,
That's
that's
the
one
only
of them.
character name. Yeah, no. That's the only one I've got.
Damn, I can't find where it is. But yeah, you guys get back and your wagon and Grox are both not there. None of the people that you look around in the immediate area. It appears that a new batch of pilgrims have shown up and taken refuge directly on the oasis.
So at a glance, we recognize no one.
Yes, at a glance you don't recognize anybody.
Okay. Um. Alright, so I guess I'll either walk up to the nearest pilgrim or the nearest stall that might be set up.
Okay. Well, you're not
whichever-
in like the proper area. You went back to the oasis.
Oh.
The city's off to the it's on the edge of Graia, like literally on the city, and the oasis is like a kilometer out.
Oh. I thought the city was, like, on the oasis.
No, it's off to the side. They just have like wells that feed from the oasis.
Oh. Then...
But the oasis
Yeah.
is in a more windswept location, so it's less fun to live there for long times.
Yeah.
Aha! I found the one I was looking for.
Yay!
Yeah. Anyways,
Anyways, gonna go, yeah, gonna head over to the encampment then, I guess, if we're not already there.
okay. You head back to the encampment.
Right? Once we're at the encampment, I'm going to approach either someone who looks like they know what they're doing or someone who has a stall set up.
Okay. You approach a food stall.
A
Is
food
the
stall?
Closest one to you.
Okay. Pardon me, sir. What do you sell here?
Meats.
Cured meats or fresh meats?
Meats.
Meats.
How long have you been in the encampment outside of Graia?
Meats.
Meats. 3 years or so.
Okay. So you would know this place fairly well?
Decently.
We've only recently arrived. Would you happen to know if there is a tent set up where weary travelers can get medical attention, or any clerics nearby, perhaps?
Well, if you're just looking for a bed to rest up in, you can head over to the gates and talk to the clerics. I'm sure they'd be willing to help you out. But if you're looking for medical attention and you have some money, there's a tent right over yonder, and he points over. That has a couple of decent doctors in it. That's where most people go.
Mm-hmm. And are there many food stalls set up in the city?
A few.
A few? Meats are well and good, but of course you have to get your other nutrients.
Meats.
Meats.
Now we feed our meat with vegetables. Meats.
Well, thank you for your assistance, sir. I will probably be returning in the near future for some meats.
Good.
Meats.
Meats. He looks at the next person in line. Meats?
Meats.
So what are you guys gonna do?
I'm gonna walk Flint over to the medical tent.
Okay. You walk Flint over to the medical tent. You see a couple of, as you enter the medical tent, you see a couple of people around putting like wet towels on people's heads, dressing wounds, cleaning wounds. One is fixing a splint to an arm. As soon as you enter, a man in a pristine white cotton coat walks over to you. Your friend here looks kind of bad, looking over at Flint, and that one seems malnourished, looking at Dante.
We found this one out in the desert as we traveled. My companion over here was attacked by some rather vicious birds. Large things. I don't recognize them as anything I've ever seen out in the wilds. Almost dog-sized. They were horrifying. He took the brunt of them for me. So I'd like to get him, well, obviously as humble pilgrims I can't afford much, but I would like to get him the best medical attention I can. He deserves it.
Very well, it's 3 gelt a night.
3 gelt. I believe I can afford that.
Your friend over there just looks like he needs some water and food, but if you want to put him up too, I can assist with that.
I turn to Dante. Do you need any medical attention, or just a sandwich?
He shakes his head and says, I'll be back at the meat tent.
Meats.
Meats.
Meet us back over here when you're done. Or
He nods and then
by nightfall.
wanders off.
Mm-hmm.
Meats.
Meats.
Alright, so I pull 3 gelt from my bag and hand it to... Was it a lady or a man who...
Man, it was a male.
It was a man. Well, okay. I hand him the 3 gelt and say, please just take care of him.
Very good. And he shows Flint over to a bed and asks him to lie down and starts doing, like, you know, checking his pulse and getting readings on him and stuff. And then begins kind of applying salves over his obvious electrical burns.
Are they obvious electrical burns or just obvious burns?
They're obvious burns.
Okay. Because
From those flaming birds that everyone knows are
No.
around.
they knocked him into the fire. They attacked at night.
Yeah. He doesn't ask any questions about that or anything. He just
know.
starts attending to Flint.
Yep.
So, after 20 minutes or so, Dante makes his way back into the tent.
Okay. So, are there too many people around to kind of like whisper between the 3 of us? Or actually, they're probably still tending to Flint, right?
Yeah, the doctor's still looking over Flint. And,
Okay.
There
but
are
are there
people
two-
in beds nearby, too, so it would be kind of hard to speak in
Okay.
there and not be overheard.
Then in that case, I call out to Flint and say, Flint will be back. We'll be back shortly.
Okay.
And lead Dante, or attempt to lead Dante outside, because I'm not being aggressive about it. I'm just
Yeah, he goes with you.
okay. I think so. Once we're outside, and I'm fairly certain, you know, people aren't paying attention or can't hear us or whatever, I whisper to him. I think for the foreseeable future, it would probably be a good idea that we'd not admit to anyone that You snuck into Graia with the chosen few, and we snuck in through a side entrance.
Oh, no, I'm very aware of that.
I can't imagine the people would accept that their holy city had been violated so easily.
Yes, I knew the risks of going in there, and don't plan on telling anyone, but I suppose Tempest what I saw.
That's the other thing. I believe it also in our best interest to not inform Tempest of most of what we saw in there.
Why wouldn't you want to inform the head of the rank and military about such an evil place?
Because, to put it lightly, throughout our entire journey over here, we heard some less than savory things, and once inside Graia, found confirmation for some of them, and that military would be coming down on us pretty hard if we shared even the slightest amount of information with him.
Why would it come down on us?
Tempest knows of the archway and disposes of anyone else who knows of the archway.
Then why did he send you here?
Few possibilities. One, if he knows of the archway, then he has possibly been inside of Graia and knows we would likely not make it back out if we ever made it in the first place. Or there was something he wanted in Graia, and he thought on the off chance we could get in and back out, we could bring it to him, and then we could be disposed of. I don't know his motivations, but I know he's less trustworthy than I'd like him to be.
Very well, I suppose. Well, I'll let you do most of the talking then.
That'd be most appreciated. I don't wish to commit full-blown treason, but I don't want to give him any more information than he already has. And if possible, I'd like to keep myself alive. I'd hate to leave Graia only to be stabbed
Can understand
by the
that.
most powerful man on the planet.
Very well. Is there anything else you wish to talk about?
No, I believe that's it for now. If I confront Tempest and what we discovered in Graia merely turns out to be a trick or a falsehood, then I'm sure he will be a benevolent and understanding leader, and we can approach him with the information later. But I don't want to reveal all of my cards, knowing what I possibly know about him. Better safe than sorry.
Well, at some other time I'd like to pick your brain. But,
I would rather you not phrase it like that, but we'll see. As I mentioned in Graia, there are very few people on world I trust right now.
yes,
Few is
well,
an overstatement. It's one.
I think in
He's
time
on
you will
death's
come to
bed
see
right
that it is handy having me around.
I don't doubt that. But it was handy having our companions around as well.
I'm sure.
That faith might have been misplaced. One of our companions set fire to the other three. I was only able to say Flint.
You're a funny guy.
Yeah, he's a witch, and he used lightning, and they all caught fire. Flint, by sheer force of luck and strength of his balls, pulled through.
I saved him.
Yeah. It's a cover story.
Yeah.
I'm a liar.
No, that's unfortunate that your companion would do that.
He also looked upon the archway and was not quite right. Though he had troubles before that.
Yes, the archway changes you quite a bit.
Yes.
And on that, Danny, add 12 corruption, and Zach, add 9 corruption to yourselves.
Alright.
You're muted, by the way.
Is that what all those D5s were for?
Yeah.
I figured as much. You said 9 for me?
12 for you,
No.
9 for Zach.
Son of a bitch.
Shit. If you get... No, wait.
Oh, I'm at 16, guys.
Wait, you're at 16? When did you
Yeah.
take the other 4?
I had 4. I started with 4.
Oh.
I had
Got
to
it.
roll 1d5 for corruption when I created my character.
Mm-hmm. For your,
Because I had a starting pack.
yeah.
Is it every 10 or 20 you get a
It's
minor
every
rebuff?
10.
Okay.
You test willpower. You already did it.
I did?
Yeah. You did it in Gryo, like...
He had you do
right-
it in secret.
Yeah. I just told you to make a
Ah.
willpower test, and that was going to be my way of revealing that it's corrupting you guys if it actually went off, but you passed your willpower test. So no one knew anything, because you were like, I'm fine. It's all good. I'm not corrupted. It's good.
You were starting to grow a hunchback, and then you were just like,
I'm great.
it's that ain't me.
So yeah, that's your guys' corruption.
Alright. So, now that, now that I've informed him of that, I'm going to wander the encampment and see if there are any shops buying anything.
There are traders in general, but there's no one
Traders
who
in
like
general.
specifically buys stuff.
Okay.
Like, there's no one who just buys things. It's always just trading.
Yeah.
What kind of trader would you like to go to?
What kind of traders are there?
Yeah, kind you'd normally expect. There's like an armorer, weaponsmith. There are multiple food traders. Furniture, like, bed rolls, that kind of stuff. General, like, wilderness supplies. Just let me know what you're looking for, and you'll find something, probably.
You said there were blacksmiths? Or just armor traders?
There are, there's an armorer who can repair stuff, but there's no one who
An
creates
armorer.
stuff there.
Okay. Well, before I go anywhere, from my 3 kilogram bag of Gryan coins, I pull one out and pocket it so that I don't have the whole bag,
Everything
out.
in one bag?
Yeah. So,
Okay, now what are you gonna do?
so I'm gonna head to an armorer or someone of the sort. So, or at least look for one.
Yeah. No, you, roll inquiry.
Huh.
You search for 3 hours and eventually find an armorer.
Good. The best. Love it. All right, so I approach the armor. Good day, sir.
Good day to you. What can I do for you?
Yes. I have some cumbersome materials that I thought an armorer such as yourself might be interested in to trade, perhaps.
Oh, really? And, what is it, and what would you like for them?
Well, I pull out one of my iron ingots.
Okay.
This is a solid five. This is a solid ingot of iron that I happened across prior to crossing the desert, and I thought I might be able to trade it for wares such as, food or shelter while I was here. As it turns out, the encampment is not as large as I was led to believe before beginning the pilgrimage. As such, I was just wondering what you might estimate it's worth at, as a man who deals in such things.
How much was it? Is it 5 kilograms, right?
Yeah, it's 5 kilograms. Okay. I just didn't tell him.
Yeah. He looks it over. Like, you're handing it to him, right? So he can look at it?
Yeah. I've set it down on the table, so he's free to pick it up.
Okay. Got to mark so many pages. Okay. Yes, he picks it up and begins looking over it, and then gets a little a torch nearby and puts it over the torch and just sits and watches it for a few moments. My God, this is nearly pure. How did you come by this?
As I mentioned, I came from Artsdorf, and it was right at the beginning of my journey, the beginning of my pilgrimage, truly. Some wary traveler left it out in the desert, possibly because it was too heavy, and I was fortunate enough to have enough space to carry it.
Well, that's very interesting. Why would you carry metals into the desert like this?
As I mentioned, I left with few belongings on my pilgrimage. I found something, I could carry it, and I thought it might be of value and I could trade it for food. And based on past experience, getting out of Graia appears to be a rather long trek, and I attempted to buy some more ration packs for my way out, and they appear to be going for at least 8 times their normal price.
Yes, some food is quite, carryable food is quite rare here, as
Yes,
traveling through the desert hikes the price up quite a bit.
of course. I found a meat stall outside that I believe sells food at a relatively reasonable price, so I should be able to sustain myself so long as I stay at Graia. But should I ever choose to leave, I will be needing ration packs for myself and my companion, and I don't know if I could afford them on my measly pilgrim's budget. So any and all guilt would help, and I figured a solid block of metal might fetch something.
Yes, no, that, fair enough, I suppose. It's not too heavy. Yes, this... I suppose I could get you let's say about 80 gelt for this.
That seems quite reasonable, actually. I believe that's actually the first reasonable transaction I've tried to make here outside of Graia. Would you perhaps be interested in a second one?
Of course, metal of this high a quality is always useful.
I don't know how many my companion has. We found an entire stockpile of them. Whoever dropped them must have been a trader of sorts. But we grabbed as many as we could carry. A couple of my other companions grabbed some as well, but they didn't make it. And we simply couldn't carry any more.
Where is your companion then? How many can he have, or does he have? Do you think?
He's in the hospital, but I would have to check with him to see how many he was able to carry.
The hospital?
We only took as much as we could comfortably lift, without being too encumbersome.
Of course, of course. What is he doing in the hospital? Was he injured in your travel to Graia?
Yes, we were attacked by a gruesome flock of incredibly large birds at night. They knocked him into the fire.
That sounds unfortunate.
Most
well,
unfortunate, as it was only about 3/4 of the way here, and he had to continue the rest of the journey on foot.
If you would,
Tougher than a rock's, that one.
Yes, he must be quite a hardy man to get through the desert injured. And you're lucky that your Groks were able to carry him. Anyways, if you would like, I can give you your gelt now and perhaps trade with you for the remainder of them.
You would do that not knowing how many you get?
No, go and see how many your friend have, and then we can make a deal.
Of course.
So
Would you mind if I take this back?
Well, would you like me to give you the money for this one, and then once you find
Just-
out how many more, just the one that
Just the one?
he was holding over the torch.
Okay. Yes. I would be more than willing. Less to carry.
Excellent, and he pushes over the gelt. He goes in the back, gets his gelt, and then gives it to you, and then puts the bar underneath the countertop that he's got there.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, figure out how many he has, and then come back, and we will, perhaps we can make some sort of arrangement.
Of course. Also, before I leave, these were also scattered, this was also found near the pile of ingots. I've never seen anything like it, unlike the iron, which even I, a mere commoner, was able to make out. This looks unfamiliar to me, and I pull out the Graian coin. You wouldn't happen to know what kind of metal. It's quite light for a coin, and I don't recognize the metal at all, or the designs.
He looks it over. No, I've no idea what metal this is. Whatever it is, it's something that I've not seen around here and ever before. You'd have to talk to a metallurgist at a university to figure it out. It's an interesting coin, though.
I thought so. I wish that there had been more, particularly if they have value. But as it was a unique object in the sand, and I couldn't part with it.
Yes, well, if you'd like to, you could seek out Trader Eames. He seems to have a knack for procuring and dealing in more arcane stuff.
Do you know where Eames might be?
Well, he usually has his tent set up over, and he gives you a location on the city.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of close to like the food area.
Well, I should have to do just that. So I shall return shortly with the information of how many ingots my companion carries.
Excellent. I look forward to your return.
So I nod and leave his stall, tent, thing, building, I don't know.
It's like a thick tent that's up in there for a while.
Yeah. So I head back to the hospital to find Flint.
Hi, Flint.
Oh, hello.